Welcome to the Turkey Hunter Podcast, the original all-turkey, all-the-time podcast with your co-hosts Andy Galliano and Cameron Weddington.
In our weekly podcast, we're going to bring you some wild turkey calling tips like this.
From there, we're going to go into, she's aggravated, there's another hen that's challenged her, or she's challenging another hen, she's going to cut an excited yelp.
Advice from old pro turkey hunters like this.
The turkeys typically don't like, I think, more times than not, to travel in an easterly direction into the sun first thing in the morning, especially after he gets up. It's a blinding thing. It's just like you. It's hard for you to see into the sun.
Mm-hmm.
So if I have a choice, I'm going to try to make it so that I'm going to be on the west side in the morning, east side in the afternoon of a turkey.
Exciting live hunts like this.
Holy crap, they're coming. Holy cow. Oh, God.
Then we're going to teach you how to cook your bird with advice such as this.
With some fresh rosemary and garlic, and then cool that off and spread that along the inside of that butterflied turkey breast that we've seasoned on both sides.
Wildlife management tips for your property, especially with turkeys like this.
If you look at the type of habitats that turkeys need for nesting and brooding, that tends to be habitat that can be managed more successfully with growing season fire than with dormant season fire.
And hopefully along the way, we'll get plenty of these.
Well, on November the 28th of 1953, I was attached. When I popped out of my mom and the baby doctor spanked me on the bottom, I went, oh! And I've been doing it ever since.
I like that.
Thank you for tuning in. And now, for this week's show. Hello and welcome back to this week's episode of the Turkey Hunter Podcast. You are listening to episode number 538, Turkey Call Making and Turkey Talk with Lonzo Trice. And I am your co-host and the guy who is wishing the turkeys will gobble a little bit better where he is.
And I'm your co-host and the guy who met one of the worst on opening day in another state.
Man, did you ever?
So let me pull out the soapbox. All right, let's hop up on here. I cannot stand when people park on top of me, and I'm in a small block of woods on public land.
And when you say small block,
100 acres, 90 of which is a field, one field.
Okay, that's pretty small.
Dove hunting, that'd be a great spot for multiple people. Duck hunting, probably could get away with it. Even, maybe some archery deer set up on different ends of the field. Pretty small.
Yeah.
One gate, if you're going to do it, come talk to me at least before. Let's iron this thing out. And, if you're dead set to come in there, I feel like the respectful thing to do would be to come up to the guy who slept there all night and say, hey, where are you going in this field? I was going to come here too. I'll go elsewhere. But as we have it these days, and, hey, granted, before this guy, there was 20 others that pulled up to the gate and left. So there's more good than bad in this world. I still believe that. But This guy, I swear. Anyway, parked 50 yards in front of me. Him and his wife run in right in front of me. I go in there, ask him, yo, what's going on? I got a bird roosted in here. I was planning on hunting this morning. Basically gave me the I don't give a blank, and I'm a resident. I'm sick of you non-residents, and these are my birds. I've been scouting them for a month, to which, when I told you this, we both agreed, hey, if you had a month, you probably should have found more than one spot with turkeys.
Yeah.
So just because you're lazy, don't take it out on me. Anyway, it just was a deal. And I'm not going to go into all the details, but thought I kept my cool pretty good. I told him I thought it was disrespectful. I mean, I was very direct that I didn't appreciate him coming in on me. I thought it was disrespectful. I didn't say any cuss words or anything. He said plenty.
Yep.
And turkey, of course, flies down. I call the two hens directly to me, and the gobbler got locked in a trance on the strutting decoy out in front of this guy and his wife. And I had about 10 minutes in which I could have jumped up and scared the turkey off as he slowly strutted into his doom.
Mm-hmm.
But I just sat there and thought, man, because I almost did it. I'll be completely honest. I almost did it. I almost stood up and scared that turkey off on purpose. A lot of people would have after
A
being
lot of
treated that
people
way.
would have, no doubt.
But I thought, this is stupid. I'm out here to have fun and enjoy the woods. This isn't a competition. I'm not competing against that guy. I don't even know that guy. And I'm not about to drop to his level of acting like this and go run the dang turkey off and ruin their hunt just because he's being like this to me. So anyway, I just let him shoot the turkey, walked by and gave kind of a half-hearted congratulations.
Yeah.
And went on and ended up having a great hunt the next day and killed my turkey. And overall, glad I got to spend an extra day there. I got to see a lot more of that area and hunt different places and walk a bunch of different places I never would have. If I had killed that first one, I would have been gone within an hour of ever being there, which is cool and all, but I got to more so enjoy the state because of it. So bottom line for me, just be respectful of other hunters. It's just, I know public land's getting out of hand. We all see it. I mean, the harvest rate this year on public land is ridiculous. And the amount of people is out of control, no matter what the experts say about us aging out and, turkey hunting's on the decline. We all know that that's not true.
Yeah.
There's more people than ever doing it, more people than ever want to be public land heroes. But that doesn't mean you park on top of people. Doesn't mean you cuss at people. We're all out here to enjoy the outdoors and have a fun time.
Yeah.
And I have more fun when I'm alone in 100 acres.
Well, yeah, there's something to be said for that. 100 acres with 3 people on it is a bit much.
Bit crowded when there's, tens of thousands of acres of other land around there. But
yeah,
it is what it is. And hey, I'll say this, after I cooled off, I was obviously a little bit upset still. I kept my cool with the dude, but after I cooled off and thought about it, I thought, you know what, this guy is probably just sick of it, which is what he kind of said. And I'm with him on this. Like, public land non-residents have gotten out of control in almost every state because everybody wants to do the hashtag Super Slam. And I guess he just finally was like, to heck with it. I'm hunting anyway. I don't care who's in here. I'm hunting. And he just took that mentality, and I get it to an extent. He's frustrated. Maybe he's hunted that place for 20 years, and he's gotten to see how crazy it's gotten popularity-wise. And so it is what it is, but just be respectful of other hunters. It's not exactly safe to have people that close together, and it's just is what it is. Just because somebody's rude to you, you don't have to be rude back. 2 wrongs don't make a right.
No, and I mean, okay, I understand his frustration, but to use a phrase that you've been told before on public ground, and I've been told before on public ground, when somebody just comes wheeling up there, you spent the night at a parking spot and to try to claim your area, and somebody comes wheeling up there right at daylight and walks in pretty much with you, holding your hand while you walk in.
That was this guy. I mean, I stayed at the parking lot so that if someone parked on me, I could discuss it with them, because I think to me nowadays, if you park and go in super early, you're just opening the door for more people to come join you. You almost have to stand there and stand your ground in person. Whereas this guy they pulled up, hopped out, and were gone. It's like, whoa, hold on.
And he didn't park in the same area that you parked in. He pulled past you.
Pulled past me. You couldn't. I was at the only gate.
Road.
I was at the only gate. He just pulled off the side of the main road.
Off the county road. Yeah.
Yeah.
But how many times have you been told by people, it's public ground, I have the right to hunt here as much as you do?
No doubt.
That guy, he might be frustrated, but he is hunting public ground. And
he said he doesn't travel out of state. So
But that doesn't change a thing in
I
the world.
I know it. It's people just
It
trying to
doesn't.
justify their actions.
It doesn't change a thing in the world. And the bottom line is he did something that was wrong. He knew it. He knew it was a crappy thing to do. He did it anyway. And in the video that you sent me of that exchange between you and him, he admitted that he was an a-hole.
Yeah, he said that at the end, like almost gloating about. Anyway, that was the
Yeah.
only kind of rude thing I said when he called himself an a-hole. I said, "Sir, I tend to agree with you," and walked off.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was the last thing I said.
Yeah.
Because he was.
But yeah, that just stinks, man. I mean,
Hey, it is what it is. Like I
it
said,
is. It's not going to change. It's not going to get better.
it's certainly not. Just this year specifically, having to learn a lot more patience. Everyone's getting frustrated. Like, I get it. If you hunt public land, it's more frustrating than ever because there's so many people. And unlike what our great biologists say, they're not all 75-year-old old men. They're all young, able-bodied men turkey hunting public land. So like they're coming in on you.
Yeah.
So I know, according to our nation's biologists, that everybody's on a walker who turkey hunts and slowly dying off. But I don't see it. I would love to know where those people are. I'll go hunt there because I can sure outwalk them. But
they're dying while they're out on the hunt. It's just happening that frequently.
They're so old. Everyone's so old who turkey hunts.
Yeah.
Oh man, I don't know where they get their metrics from. I'd love for them to come ride around. If they had ridden around public land with me for the past, 10 years or whatever it's been, I don't think they'd be saying it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's this year's. I've never seen anything like it this year. I mean, it is crazy. My home state is 67% above average on harvest already on public land.
That's insane.
Kentucky, I know, set a record opening weekend, and it's everywhere I've been. And then everybody I know who's been to public land is just like, oh my gosh, I didn't think it could get worse. And it's way worse this year.
Yeah.
It is what it is. Still killing turkeys. Luckily, most of those people are just out there bumping them. And it is what it is. So, just because there's a ton of people, you can't let that compromise how you're going to act. And just be respectful of your other hunters. We're all out there doing the same thing. That guy, he said over and over again, I had kid stuff last night. I couldn't stay out here.
Yeah.
And I said, well, my two kids probably would love to see me tonight, but they won't now because you were selfish and came in here anyway. Like, we all got stuff, man. Everybody's got something. And we're not in a competition. I don't understand this thing right now. It's like it's a competition. I'm going to kill him. You'll never kill. It's not. I just want to go have fun in the woods.
Yeah.
There's no competition. I hope you kill all of them. I just need my one. I'm happy.
Yeah, it's something. I mean, I wish there were a solution. The only solution is don't take anybody turkey hunting. Don't take anybody turkey hunting that's never been. And eventually, as public ground gets more and more and more overrun and people's pleasure, the hunter satisfaction numbers decline, then some people will stop turkey hunting.
We'll see. I just can't imagine that ever happening, to be honest.
I'm with you. I don't think it's going to, but I'm just going to throw this out there. When Bud Light decided to run the ad campaign that they ran that got them in just a world of a mess with a lot of their fans of their beer, they lost a lot of people that quit. A lot of people quit drinking Bud Light.
Biggest marketing blunder of all time.
That and probably New Coke, but I think that may be out New Coke. You're too young to even know that. You may have studied it in school, but still, a lot of people quit supporting the brand because they didn't believe in what they were doing.
Yeah.
I don't want to take away from anyone who makes a living off of hunting because, there are people out there who are small business people.
Yep.
They're small business owners. You guys follow them on social media. You guys consume their content on social media. And they're giving away pins They're giving away GPS coordinates. They're giving away where they're hunting and showing you where they're hunting, where they're finding deer, where they're finding turkeys, et cetera, et cetera. And if you're okay with that, keep supporting them, keep consuming the content. If you're not, then, well, ball's in your court.
That's it.
You can Bud Light them, or you can continue to let that snowball. And if it snowballs, it's not snowballing in the right direction. So,
yeah, I tend to agree. I mean, if you're going to be frustrated with it, you can't continue to support it. I mean, I know personally, if I'm not going to watch, basically at this point, I don't watch any YouTube turkey hunting at all of any of them. But if I was going to, I would have a strict criteria that they can't hotspot any specific areas or states, and that would pretty much knock them all right off then.
it would sure knock a bunch of them out of there, wouldn't it?
I know. Well, it's like that. Like people think, oh, you can't hotspot a whole state. Right, you can. Look at all the different regulation changes we're seeing right now, and more coming. I've already heard of some pretty severe ones coming down the pipeline for next year. So stay tuned. We will continue to lose opportunity.
Yes.
To go turkey hunting. And
yes.
Meanwhile, our conservation organizations will continue to push, recruit, retain, reactivate, and those who already turkey hunt will continue to lose opportunity. It's happening around the whole country and will happen more.
Yeah.
And it's going to cost more. My gosh, the licenses this year have been eating me alive. They're high.
They ain't cheap, and they ain't going to get cheaper.
No, they're going up, up, up. We'll continue. But anyway,
all right.
All that to say, be respectful if you're hunting public land. If someone's at the gate, there's 20,000 acres behind the gate, sure. Maybe talk to them and split off 2 different ways. If it's a tiny little parcel, let them have it. Go find somewhere else. Enjoy the woods. Have a fun turkey hunt. Don't ruin somebody else's hunt just because you feel like it's a competition. We got to get better. Starts with you, starts with me.
You've got to get better. And if you're going, whether it's in state or out of state, you're going to hunt public ground and you have one pin dropped, you may as well just stay home.
Yeah, somebody's going to be there.
You may as well stay home because you haven't done your homework.
Nope.
The chances of you getting that one spot, even if you spend the night there in your vehicle in front of that gate, the chances of you being the only person in that spot are very close to zero.
These days, that is a fact.
So you got to do what Cameron said. He said be better, and what he meant was be a better human. But I'm saying be a better hunter. Do your homework, do your due diligence before you ever get your pickup truck and drive in the direction of where you're going to hunt.
Yeah, and if you're a local like that dude, hey, maybe scout out 2 or 3 different spots.
Yeah.
You got to, if he's really been scouting for a month, don't go look at the same turkey every day or listen to him. Go find some more.
Yeah.
You need A, B, C, D, all the way to Z plans.
Absolutely.
So, anyway,
we
got a great interview today. We
do.
Lonzo Trice as a first-time guest. He was a recommended guest from Darren Dawkins, last week's guest. And, man, a great show. Some super interesting learning for me, at least, about turkey call making.
Yeah.
That I had never heard of, or, half these processes he talks about, I didn't even know existed.
Yeah, exactly. He's a walking encyclopedia on call making. There's no doubt. And a heck of a good turkey hunter, too. So, What do you think? You want to jump in and let Lonzo speak for himself?
Let's do it. See you guys on the other side. That's it. Certainly.
Yeah. Well, I think it's worth going, even if you know there's no turkeys. If you don't have anywhere else to go, it's still worth going and sitting in the woods and watching the spring happen.
Ain't no doubt about it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, with my shooting abilities, there will always be some turkeys. Well educated ones.
My son missed one time. He said, "How can you miss something that big?" I said, "If you keep hunting, you'll continue to miss." Those things happen.
Yeah, I've missed a bunch of them where I don't know how I missed. Like the turkey's just standing there in the wide open. Well, today I know exactly why I missed. That turkey, he was 98% of him was behind a dang pine tree, and I decided to shoot at him. That was about the dumbest thing I've ever done. I don't know what happened to me. I made 99.9% of the hunt. I made perfect decisions, but that 1 second there at the end is kind of a big deal.
Well, that's, you can do everything perfect and come home with nothing slung over your shoulder, and then you can stumble all over yourself and kill one. So,
Yeah, I kind of count it breaks even because I killed one 2 days ago, and I shouldn't have killed that turkey. God gave me that turkey, and so then I guess he evened it out with this one today.
There you go. Yeah. Yep.
Because the turkey 2 days ago, I was walking the road, and I just, for whatever reason, decided I need to stop walking, and I stopped, and the turkey drummed 30 yards from me.
Wow. Yeah.
I scratched once, and he came up there, and I popped him.
I had a situation like that with my grandson 2 years ago. We went to a spot, and I said, I think I know where these turkeys are. And we got there, and of course, I was wrong, and I was the one, I was the goat. And I said, John Paul, if you don't mind taking a little hike, I said, well, I think we can do an end around on these turkeys. And, he said, yes, sir. So we strike off, and it's a big curve, and the road is a clear cut and grown up some. We're going around the road around it, and this turkey just gobbled out of nowhere, like 60 yards away. He couldn't see us, and we couldn't see him. I said, what in the world? And anyway, I said, wasn't anywhere to get, so I said, sit down right here in the road. And I said, if he pops out, you're going to have to shoot him now because he's going to see what he don't want to see, or he's going to see something, And,
see two guys sitting in the road.
Yeah, two guys sitting in the road still over here, and I was about halfway through the second yelp, and he hammered again, and he stepped out, and he got it. I mean, if we'd have kept walking, we'd have just run right over the top of him, But
I know. That's what I'm saying, man. Sometimes you don't do. I mean, in that situation, in my turkey on Tuesday, I didn't do really anything right. I just was in the right spot at the right time.
Yeah. What do they say? Sometimes you're the bug, sometimes you're the windshield, something like that.
Yeah. Well.
Yes, indeed. Well,
that's good. Well, Lonzo. So, Andy, you want to give a introduction since we just kind of started it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we've got Lonzo Trice on the phone with us today, and he is the man behind Lonzo's Custom Calls. And I've met Lonzo years ago at the Unicoi convention, their custom call maker show in Helen, Georgia, and I've just gotten to know him through that. And I can tell you, I've heard a lot of really good things about Lonzo when it comes to being a turkey hunter. That much I don't know. I know he makes an incredible turkey call, or actually a lot of incredible turkey calls, but I just have to go off of what other people tell me about him being a really good turkey hunter. But I can tell you he is a heck of a nice guy, and I'm glad that we're able to get him on the show and talk turkey today. Lonzo, everything going well in your world?
Yes, sir. Couldn't be any better. I wish I was 30 years younger, but, other than that, everything's great.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I can say the same. I wish I was 30 years younger too, but I think Cameron can't say that because
I'm pretty happy being 31. So
that'd make him one. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I'd get to relearn it all again, but I don't know. I'm pretty happy where I am.
1 year old.
Yeah, no doubt. So knowing what you know now, Cameron, would you go back and shoot a Benelli?
Definitely no. I would never put a red dot on my gun. I would never shoot a Benelli. Man, I could I could write a book on the things I wouldn't do. But the good part about that is all the stuff you say you wouldn't do anymore, you learn. That's why you get where you are.
That is very true. Very true. So, well, good deal. Well, Lonzo, thank you for taking time out to join us. And you live in Georgia, is that right?
Yeah, down in the southwest corner.
Okay.
Nice.
All right. So how far are you from the Alabama line?
Oh, I can be in Alabama in less than an hour.
Okay. All right.
I could be down at the beach at Panama City in 3 hours. So
there you go.
Yeah. So you're right there, pretty close to a couple of other states. Do you turkey hunt in either of those states?
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay. I used to guide. I still do when I have time down in Palatka, Florida for country outfitters, and then I've had a gentleman that rented my cabin for years deer hunting, and he had a nice place down below Arcadia, Florida, which is below Highway 70, which is the southern zone, which is the first Saturday every March. So we'd go down there the first weekend, me and my son and my brother, and we'd kill us one turkey and come home. We'd be all excited and all, and because couldn't hunt anywhere else then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had a friend of mine that's an excellent turkey hunter. Him and his two sons, they probably kill more turkeys than Avi and Pox, but they're over in Alabama in the Black Belt. I've hunted over there with them quite a few times. Really enjoyed that.
Yeah.
But Florida, Tennessee, South Carolina, I've been there quite a few times. So yeah, all the way out to the state of Washington actually. But
And yeah,
Nice.
how
Very
long
good.
you been making your own calls?
I started making calls in 2004.
Nice.
I got an itch for it, and I know y'all probably heard of Dad's calls, Jerry White, and he lives about an hour and 45 minutes east of me. I'd been over to his shop, and he builds box calls, pot calls, trumpets, and kind of got the itch. I had a good friend of mine that makes some really nice calls, Craig Corbett, cornbread. He makes the strumpets, which is a tube call with a trumpet barrel on it.
Yeah.
And also lots of tube calls, and that kind of got me the itch, So I bought me a lathe and had at it.
So a lot of trial and error on your part, just like most of the call makers.
Wow. I had this one lady that used to work in the same place I worked, and she bought the second one I ever built. And every time I see her, she says, "I got your number 2 call." I said, "Honey, I wish I could. I'll apologize every time I see you for that one, but oh my gosh." I mean, you always think they're pretty good when you first start, but they were terrible. And I could burn down Los Angeles with the ones that didn't work.
So was it, knowing what you know about call making now, was it just that it didn't look good, or did it not sound good, or was it both to you?
It sounded more like a pond scoggin than it did a hen turkey. I mean, I've always been real careful about how I, finish them and everything. But yeah, they still. I mean, it was a nice looking call. Well, matter of fact, the first ones I built, I'd buy the poplar shelving board from Lowe's and cut them out with a hole saw, and then I'd put them on the lathe and turn them. But then I got to using different woods and stuff. But you learn. I was on a professional drag racing team. And, when you make any kind of adjustment, you can't do 2 or 3 things at one time. You have to do one thing at a time. And, I'd try something and it'd get a little better. And I said, well, if that works, I'm going to make this ledge a little wider the next time, and it'd get a little bit better. And then all of a sudden it falls off the earth and it's terrible, and you just got to kind of, once you get that part figured out, move on to, it's not, a lot of people, I think, and just from people I talk to that's just starting or ask me about it, they think, a lot of people want to start with a pot call just like I did, because, you turn it around, drill some holes in it, and glue a piece of slate or crystal or whatever in it, and you got a call. But it's not as intricate as tuning a box call, but it's, it's a lot to it. I mean, the thickness of the bottom, the thickness of the outside, the OD, the ledge you glue to, the distance from the ledge down to the inside bottom of the call. If you use a pedestal like I do, the size of the pedestal and the height of the pedestal, you just have to keep playing with it. And then, you'll run up on, I remember the first piece of Coca-Cola I turned and made a crystal call out of it. It was so high pitched, it cracked glass, And, so I said, well, darn, this don't work like the other one. So I started, thinning the bottom out, and then it got better, and it's just, you learn. And if you don't, and I think if somebody tells you how to build one all the way from beginning to end, you don't learn all that stuff. I was self-taught turkey hunting, self-taught building pot calls for the most part, and self-taught golfing. Thankfully, I've gotten better at turkey hunting and pot calls. The golf still is no better, but the others I've done.
Well,
man, how do you have time to golf when turkey hunting's going on?
I do not golf. I do not. No, I don't even build calls this time of year. If it's time to hunt, it's time to hunt to me. And I don't. And I travel a lot. I'm going to Mexico this year. First time I've been to Mexico. I'm kind of excited about that. And
nice. You getting the golds there?
Yes, sir. Gonna give it a whirl. Hope so.
Heck yeah. Where in Mexico are you headed?
To El Halcon down in Chihuahua.
Yeah. Okay.
We fly into Dallas, Fort Worth, and then from there into Chihuahua City, I believe it is the name of the town.
Okay.
And then they pick us up there and take us to the lodge. Thankfully, I'm going with some people that's been, several times, and they just love it. Everything's great about it, and it's a fun bird to hunt. So I'm kind of looking forward to it.
Yeah, I was there for the second time hunting Goulds last year, and
oh wow, yeah,
it's a good trip. It's a good trip for sure. So
that's what everybody says. I had to go get a passport. I've never had a passport before, so that was an experience. But
yeah, well, the whole trip will be an experience.
Yeah, that's what they say from me. I mean, they say the food's great. I like different ground to hunt on. I like to go different places.
Right, like to see new trees.
Yeah, exactly. As my buddy says, need some new ground to throw up on. So that's what I like to do.
Yeah, good deal. And when are you headed there?
That's May the 5th.
Okay.
So interesting to me that May you're hunting Goulds in Mexico. You'd think the season would be super early down there.
Well, I don't know. I'm thinking that may be toward the end of it. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I know. I'm going to South Carolina. Our youth starts this weekend, so that's the most pressure that's going to be on me the whole year right there.
Oh, I bet.
My grandson won, and then
I'm
going to hunt with Darren Dawkins over in South Carolina on game land. Then I'm going to George West, Texas. Never heard of it in my life. Then I've been hunting 20 years with my buddy. We make tree yelpers and Davis yelpers together up in Missouri. Brian Johnson, and we're going to hunt. I've been hunting with him. We go spring and fall. I go twice a year. Absolutely love it. Both of it. Of course, ain't nothing any better than a goblin turkey, but fall hunting, I've really gotten into it over the last few years. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, Cameron's going to probably wear you out on the fall turkey hunting.
I'll wear you out by saying don't tell anybody that it's fun.
Oh, listen, we were talking. I say one of the worst things ever happened to turkey hunting was COVID. I think it forced a lot of people into the woods that generally wouldn't have gone.
Amen to that.
We all think there's too many people hunting, but the people that were hunting when we started probably thought the same thing when we started. So
yeah, I think you're right, because the old timers wouldn't share anything. The ones I knew anyway.
Oh, absolutely not. And I mean, I think that's the one lie you can tell and get away with it. People ask me, did you hear anything this morning? I absolutely didn't. Did you hear one? Yeah. Where was it? I said, on a limb. I don't give up information about turkey hunting.
I like that.
I'm laughing because we had a meeting at our hunting club this past weekend, and I went out and listened. Just went into the woods to listen to see if I could hear anything gobble before the meeting. I got back to the camp about 10 minutes before the meeting, and one of the guys came up and said, "Did you hear anything?" And I looked at him and I said, "You just asked me a question that you are forcing me to lie to you about. Whether I heard something or I didn't hear something, I'm going to lie to you. You're just not going to know which one I'm lying about." Yeah. Like that.
People that you got to go find your own. That's what I tell them,
Yeah.
And I go a lot. I go, early and listen, and I don't try to get anywhere, within 300 or 400 yards of them. But when I first start, I like to listen. You pick up a lot from listening. Then you got to start. You got to cut down the field. It's like my buddy Brian says, when they leave that limb, they can go anywhere in America. So you got to kind of figure out, help yourself out, figure out which way they're going, and what they're doing and when they like to do it. And
yeah, no doubt.
Helps a lot.
Yeah. I mainly was just marking birds on the map just to know where I need to go back and try to get in behind them and see what they're doing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes,
exactly.
Just what you said. I mean, just because they do it today doesn't mean they're going to do it tomorrow. So
they do the same thing 6 days in a row and something different on the 7th.
That's the day that I'm hunting.
Yep.
Yeah, that's it.
That's the day you decide to go after that one. After you think you know everything about them, but you never do.
Yeah.
No,
I had a guy tell me one time. He said, "I need to ask you something. You an old pro." I said, "There ain't no professional turkey hunters. There's no such thing as a professional turkey hunter."
I think there's just those who are more persistent than others.
Exactly. Yep, you got to stay after it. When I first started, I had a little place about 35 acres, and that was all I had, so I could stay there all day. It wasn't like I could leave and go check out someplace else. So,
Yeah, 35 acres. Did you kill some turkeys on it?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. It was
all right.
it had some little bit of feel around it, but it was as far as where they'd be or where they started off, that was it. And if they, back then get out in that field, you could kiss them goodbye. Field turkeys that's the most ornery thing on the planet.
Sit there and plead with them all day long. They'll gobble.
Oh yeah,
strut for you.
Oh yeah, they'll sit out there and gobble and cut donuts all day, but they don't much care what you think. I think the only way to kill one of those is to watch where it comes in the field and watch where it goes out, and that's about the only way you're going to do anything with them.
Yeah, that or get one of those drones that explodes on impact, like the military has.
Yeah,
it'd be tough to get one right now.
Might be tough. You're right. Might be tough. So you'd mentioned that you're basically self-taught when it comes to turkey hunting. Did you initially start turkey hunting on public ground, private ground? Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, private. My brother-in-law, he's a big farmer and probably the biggest farmer in this county. And he has a lot of ground. And it was I'm fortunate because I know a lot of people. A WMA is all they have to hunt, and it's those. When I first started, it wasn't that bad, but there's a lot of people going to WMAs now and a lot of pressure. But yeah, he had some really good spots, back then. But as he's gotten bigger farming, he had a lot of planted pines, which I used to. You'd think creek bottoms and oak hammocks would be the only place you can find one, but they roost a lot around here in pine trees and stuff.
Yeah.
And but when you farm for a living, you gotta, and you're paying for land and renting land, you gotta farm all of it you can. So we've lost a lot of places we had previously. He
getting cleared up,
the trees, cleared up, and farm it. And I mean that's his living. I understand, but it gets very disappointing. And when I first started, our populations were really. I ran off I heard a turkey gobbling every day I went, and I ran them all off.
Yeah.
I didn't give them credit that they deserved. I said this can't be that big a deal. But the first turkey I ever heard gobble, I wasn't even hunting. I went with a buddy of mine. I just said, "Yeah, I'll go with you." And I heard that turkey gobble. He couldn't have been no more than 50 or 60 yards straight behind me on the creek. That right there was it. I mean, ain't nothing. The two greatest sounds in North America are a gobbling turkey and a bugling elk. And to me, and when I heard that first turkey gobble, while I was sitting there close enough to him, to actually hunt him, and I didn't even have a gun with me. I just went with him. I was on then, and I ain't slowed down.
Yeah, just flip the light switch on.
Yeah, I mean, it was incredible. I just, because we were the last county in Georgia to get a turkey season, so we were, I wasn't hunting back then, but I mean, there wasn't many people around here that turkey hunted.
Yeah.
It was
so they opened it kind of county by county when they started spring seasons.
Yeah, different sections. We just didn't have the populations that other parts of the state had. So but it was it was kind of odd because you think, especially here. I mean, we got a lot of agriculture, but we got a lot of woods too. And I don't know. I'm not a biologist, and I don't know how they figure all that kind of stuff, but I think might have been maybe, I don't know, I was in high school. I'm 70 now, so I was in high school when it first opened. I'd hear people talk about turkey hunting. I'm like, what in the world, And we hardly ever saw any, but, we had them. Nobody hunted them. There wasn't a lot of talk,
Yeah.
Not like deer, deer hunting here. I mean, you'd see a deer track on your land and you go get all your buddies and show it to them. That was a big deal,
Yeah. Yeah, I've heard a lot of people say that before.
I know, that's what my grandfather said, which is hard to believe now. You try not to run them over.
Jeez.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, forever and ever and ever, we could kill 2 bucks, and that was it. And now you can kill 11 does or 2 bucks, and it's crazy.
Yep.
Yeah.
When you get turkeys up to that level.
Deer. Oh wow! I don't know what it would take. They've shortened our season and they've shortened our bag limit, and I'm good with that. If it helps, I'm all for it.
If it helps.
If it helps, that's what I'm saying. That we used to kill 3, and you could literally kill all 3 of them in 5 minutes. If you called up 3 gobblers, you could kill them all 3. Now you can only kill 2, and you can only kill 1 a day.
Yeah, I like the
I wish
one a day deal.
Yeah, exactly. I wish they, now you talking about a sticky subject, but I wish they'd quit letting you kill a Jake.
Yeah.
Right.
They're so much more fun when they're 2 years old.
Yeah.
No doubt.
It's
Well,
that is definitely a sticky topic, man. We've had people from, it's okay to kill jakes to don't want you shooting jakes. Well, one guy said you should only shoot jakes. You should never shoot a gobbler. That topic right there is a good dividing line.
Yeah, I don't know. I told my grandson, he was 9 the first time we went, and he killed a long bear. I told him we're not going, and I hope I don't offend nobody on this, but I just said we're gonna hunt like I learned to hunt. We're gonna sit on the ground or a little chair up against a tree. We ain't gonna sit in no blind, and we ain't gonna kill any jakes. And we're not unless it's a rare occasion. We're not even gonna take a decoy. And then when you get old enough to hunt on your own, you can hunt like you want to. But I want you to see what it's like, to
Yeah.
And I don't
really
have any problem with people doing any of that. I just exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. So you basically, tell me if I'm wrong or right here. You basically started turkey hunting when the season was opened in your county.
Oh yeah, we'd had a season for several years. I started in the '90s.
Okay.
We just didn't. Nobody really turkey hunted.
Okay.
You hardly ever ran up on anybody turkey hunting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we used to have.
There wasn't a season.
We had more. Well, yeah, even after we got a season, people just didn't, for a long time. The biggest hit around here was people running deer with dogs. That was a big deal, which I never really cared for that. But that was, that was a big deal, and deer hunting was the king and still is. Now we have a lot of people from Florida lease land up here to hunt. And so it's, it used to, when they first started leasing it, you say, hey, well, you mind if I turkey hunt over there? No, go ahead. I ain't coming up here, just to hunt turkeys. And they didn't care nothing about hunting, but now they pay so much, they're more into turkey hunting than they ever were. But they're paying a lot more for the land too,
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, I can totally see that. I think it's gotten any more to where people are looking for every way possible to extend their season. And so
exactly. Yep.
I'd be surprised, and maybe I'm just bad wrong on this, and maybe I'm being a little bit, too exaggerating things too much, but I'd be surprised if there's not more turkey hunters that buy hunting licenses in multiple states than there are turkey hunters who just have a license in their home state, and that's it.
Oh yeah, I'll agree with that.
I think so many people now are, like for you, you're an hour from Alabama state line. So, Alabama's season's going to open, a week or so before Georgia's? Doesn't your season open on April 1?
Hours, they shortened hours. It used to open around the 22nd or 23rd. Now it's around, it's going to be the 28th this year because that's we always open on a Saturday.
Okay.
And we always go out on May the 15th. Now, that can be a Wednesday or whatever. But so sometimes if that's, if the first Saturday in April is, going to be later in the month, they'll open it the last Saturday in March.
Gotcha.
But all of Florida's in now. I think Alabama starts. I'm not sure. I think they start this weekend.
I think North Zone of Florida opens Saturday, if I'm not mistaken.
Right. Yeah, this Saturday. Central and Northern. Yep, they open at the same time.
And I know Alabama's opens on the 25th. So
is that when it is? Okay.
Yeah, that's what it is. And so, still, you're talking about getting an extra week if you bought a Florida license to go hunt.
Exactly.
And, so.
Yeah, you can, a lot of states out west, they've gone to one. So you have to kind of plan you out a trip, to make it worthwhile to go,
Yeah.
It's, you don't want to go to Utah, all the way to Utah and kill one turkey and turn around and come back home or somewhere like that, Colorado.
Right.
And then, we used to, everybody, where are you going to hunt this year? I think I'm going to go out to Kansas and then maybe Montana. And they'd say, oh, you're going to hunt the dumb ones. And I said, well, they ain't dumb. They're just not beat on, like the turkeys in our part of the world are. There's not that many turkey hunters out there. They're
Yeah.
certainly not dumb.
Yeah.
Not as many local turkey hunters for sure. There's a lot of
Yeah.
out-of-state folks out there, though.
They're getting more educated now than they used to be.
They certainly are. They certainly are.
Yeah.
But like I said, it's just I just like going to different places. That's what I like. Enjoy most about turkey hunting, other than the people you meet, you know.
Yeah, I'm with you. There's a lot to both of those things that make things interesting. No doubt.
Yeah.
No doubt.
No doubt.
Yeah.
I'd like to go more up in the northeastern states. I've never hunted up in, like Vermont and Maine, and they say there's some really fun hunting up there that way.
No, it's no good.
No good, yeah. That tells me there is.
I would just stay in South Georgia and hunt there.
Okay.
Yeah. It's a lot like hunting public ground in Alabama.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. You have more luck on Southwest Georgia public land than you would up there.
Okay, all right. I'll scratch those thoughts then.
Good. Yeah. I care about you, Lonzo. I don't want you traveling all that distance and being around all those Yankees up
like
there.
Yeah.
I tell you, I've been to the lower 49 states, and they're all beautiful and unique in their own way. And I think it's taught me to appreciate people more. And I know that may sound weird because I've always had an appreciation of people, but just different people and with different views and everything else. And it's that doesn't mean I have to necessarily be tolerant or want to hang around them all the time, but heck, they're entitled to an opinion just like I am.
Exactly.
Just like every turkey hunter's got an opinion about something, whether it's TSS or it's shooting gobblers before the peak laying season or shooting jakes, just like we were talking about. Everybody's got an opinion. I can appreciate them all. So
some of the most fun I've ever had going out of state hunting is going in some little restaurant to eat breakfast or something and listen to everybody. When you walk in there with camouflage on, everybody's a turkey hunter all of a sudden. They'll had any luck? Well, no, sir, not so far this morning. Well, let me tell you what I always did. You can get all kinds of free advice.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Some of it can get quite interesting too.
Oh yeah, and then or they'll tell you, I've been seeing a bunch of them on my place, blah blah blah. And you just so I guess you wouldn't mind if I went over. Oh no, we ain't gonna. I don't let nobody hunt on mine. Don't tell me about all your turkeys.
Yeah. The other thing I learned. That's right. Yeah, you brought the topic up, so don't be offended when I ask.
I've got to ask you. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. But one thing I've learned about people when you do walk into that restaurant in camouflage and everybody all of a sudden is an expert on turkeys is you rarely hear people say, "I don't ever see any turkeys." What you hear them say is, "Oh, I see turkeys all the time." I drove by XYZ's place yesterday, and there were a bunch of turkeys out there. There are turkeys all over the place. So when you start really drilling down and you ask the question, how many is a bunch? Yeah, I drove by there yesterday. There were 2. All right. Well, 2's not really a bunch, but did one of them have something hanging from his chest? Because that's all I need is that one.
Yeah, and we refer to those as was any of them a swinger?
A slinger. There you go. Yeah.
That's like deer. Everybody, man, I saw a monster the other day, and then, well, some people's monster may not be another one's monster for sure.
Oh, no doubt. No doubt about it. So I'm going to ask this question of you. What is and then I got a follow-up question too. I think Cameron's in a little bad spot. We getting a little delay on that. But so
sorry, I went out there.
That's okay. My question to you is this. What type of turkey call is your favorite turkey call to make, and is that also your favorite type of turkey call to hunt with?
Ooh, I enjoy. I like making those little Davis yelpers and the little small tree yelpers that me and Brian do. And I like to use them, but my favorite is just a pot call, Slater aluminum. Those are my 2 favorites. But, when you I've turned a heck of a lot of them over the years, and I like to go out there and turn something different every now and then, a different wood. I get really excited if I get some new kind of wood or something. I can't wait. When I glue up a pot call made out of batik mango, I got to hold a pistol to my head and make sure I don't go in there and play it before it's time, But, it's like when you try something different, I can't wait till that thing dries where I can play it and when it works, it's the greatest feeling in the world. And when it doesn't work, it's the lowest of lows. But that's how you learn. But yeah, I'd say my favorite, that's a good old slate or aluminum pot call.
What kind of wood on that favorite call?
Well, it's funny. I can't get it. The guy told me I could get it. He had 100 board foot, and I was going to get it. I'm still waiting on him to figure it. But bullet tree. And it's not the prettiest wood in the world. It comes from Belize, and he's the only guy they'll let come down there and get his sinker. It's from hundreds of years ago. They cut these trees, and they drag them down to the river for the rainy season. And when it flood, that's how they got them out of there.
Yep.
And these are the ones that sank.
Yeah.
And I've had a couple of people win the World Turkey Calling Championship with a bullet tree green slate that I made for them. So it's
very cool.
But it's very tonal wood.
Yeah, that is
just
cool.
The density of it.
Heard of that.
Yeah, now there's a bullet wood, but this is bullet tree. It's kind of a greenish looking. It's kind of like mud cured Osage, but not that vibrant green. Like mud cured Osage is.
Okay.
But yeah, that's my favorite.
Is slate over glass your preferred playing surface?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, slate over glass and aluminum over aluminum.
Okay. You like what is it you like most about the aluminum?
I like aluminum. I personally like anodized better than I do stone. Stone is a lot easier to play and it's a lot easier to keep up.
Yeah.
But anodized to me, a good anodized aluminum call, you should be able to do it with all of them. You can do it with slate and crystal, but you can play so soft and clear, or you can get nasty and raspy with it. I mean, and y'all all know, sometimes you'll go out, you'll sit down and, turkey starts gobbling, you wait for him to pitch out and start calling to him a little bit, and he may not respond to what you start with, and, you can make one little change, and all of a sudden he'll come unglued,
Right.
Yeah.
And so, everybody says, what's your favorite? And I said, I take one of each because I ain't got to pay myself for them. But, those are my two favorite. And you can do more on a slate and aluminum than you can on a glass or a crystal or a ceramic.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, my favorite is whatever one he likes that day.
That's what I say. Whatever he likes, I like.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it's
Yeah,
crazy
that
because
can change day to day.
Yes, and it will. And it's, there's always seems to be one hen in the crowd that's the one that the old gobbler really likes, and I try to get as close to that as I can get, Sometimes I don't hit it right where I want to hit it, but I try.
Yeah.
I'll have stuff spread out all around me on the ground. It takes me 30 minutes to clean up when I get ready to move.
Yeah.
You and I sound like we hunt a lot alike. We probably don't need to hunt together.
Did you just leave it all? Come back and get it next year.
Yeah, that's what Cameron does.
Well, I've got stuff pretty much all over. When I first started hunting with Brian up in Missouri, he had all he used was the little small hen bone out of just that one the small one. And he'd stick it in bib overalls, and I'd pick my vest up, and he'd say, "You need some help with that, old man?" And I'd say, "Hey, don't be rude to elderly people now." But I had a ton of stuff in my vest that all he had was that one little wing bone. I got him on pot call now. He's a big pot call guy now, but he didn't used to. He just carried that one little bone.
One wing bone. That'd be nice for walking.
Yeah, no
doubt. Oh boy, yeah. I've shed a lot of stuff over the last few years. You talking about that Benelli? I hunted with an 870 Remington forever, and I said I just can't see spending that kind of money for a shotgun that you don't shoot any more than you do. But I got one now. Got two of them actually.
There you go. So you mentioned that you can do more with slate or aluminum than you can with a glass surface. What exactly were you talking about there, and why is that?
Oh, of course, I play them all the time, and
Sure.
there's certainly no rocket science to it. If you had to be a brilliant man to do this stuff, I'd be out of luck. But I could just you can get up closer to the edge to get a little bit higher note, a little bit clearer note. Or you can turn your striker a little bit, get left striker tip on the call or more striker tip, and you can get really, really raspy. Or sometimes I'll hear a hen out there. It's just basic kind of clear. It's just not
right.
Don't have all the raspy. You got to have that nasal in there. I think. I mean that's a hen, but yeah, it seems like it's easier to do that for me with slate or aluminum more so than a crystal or a glass.
Yeah. Okay.
And you can you can make a little striker change, like go from a 2-piece striker to a 1-piece striker or a different head. I make mine with the different size heads on them, the bigger head, and then I use some what we call slimline heads on my 2-piece. But I think it's just the way I've taught myself to play a call and the way I play one, help is why I say I can do it better with slate or aluminum.
Yeah. Okay. And
it's more in the yelp than anything, just a more clear yelp or more raspy or,
Right.
And of course, it's a lot easier to kiki on aluminum than it is slate. If you want to kiki or whatever.
Yeah. So on your strikers, you talked about the size of the tip of the striker. I'm assuming you've got certain size strikers that you like better for yelping compared to a kiki or something like that you like to use?
Yeah. I used to turn strikers forever and ever. And, of course, everybody tells you the old Rutland plywood, the diamond wood people, the good, really good stuff, after they burned down, they didn't build back. So I kind of, when I couldn't get the good Rutland stuff anymore, the first few stuff I tried, I didn't really care for it. It wasn't a sound I could get, with a 1-piece. Now I just build 2-piece strikers. And what makes a striker work is balance. You got to have the balance between the head and the dowel.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I use different woods on my head and different size heads. Now I'm down to about 2 different dowels that I use as far as, either striker, but I got about 4 or 5 different heads I'll put on them.
Okay. Yeah.
And some, some woods make good strikers and some just don't.
Yeah. What is your favorite wood for a striker?
Oh, there's 2 different diamond wood dowels I get from 2 different people. I don't know if it's frog wood or what. I don't know which ones they use, but they're totally different as far as the weight of them. All diamond wood is birch. It's been dyed different colors and pressed together, and
okay.
But it comes out like a big sheet of plywood. If you're looking at the edge of a plywood, you see all those different colors.
Yeah.
And it's the amount of the glue, epoxy, whatever they put in there when they force those together, to glue them together, it makes the difference in the weight, and the difference in the weight makes the difference in the way it sounds. Some of them are lighter. You can pick up something and say, boy, this is, you can tell it. And I got a little gram scale I can weigh them on to kind of group them together.
Yeah.
And I stabilize some wood, and that gram scale, you can weigh a piece of wood like ammonia burl. If you don't stabilize it, it's worthless as far as, making a pot call. So I stabilize it and I weigh it and dry it and do all this stuff and make sure, where I am.
Yeah. And so tell me about you use the term stabilizing it. Tell me about that process.
Well, you take it's a vacuum chamber. It's a big pot, and you put whatever wood. I cut mine I plane it to the thickness I want, and then I cut it in 4 1/8 by 4 1/8. That's what I use for my blank. And you put it in this chamber. It's a round pot. It's like a big army pot kind of. And you pour what they call cactus juice in there. You have to, you'll have to put something on top of the wood to keep it from floating and keep it, under the.
Yeah.
You just fill it up where it's above the wood, and you put the top on it, and it's a vacuum. It's a little vacuum pump, and it pulls back. And as soon as you turn it on, you won't believe the bubbles that come out of that wood.
Really?
And it's basically forcing that juice into that wood and forcing the air out of it.
Yeah.
And you have to do it until you quit seeing bubbles, and then after you do that, you let it soak. if you drew a vacuum on it for say 3 hours before you got the bubbles out, then you cut the vacuum off and you let it soak for 6 hours.
Okay.
You have to soak it for twice as long as you pull a vacuum on it, and then I put mine in like a little toaster oven at at 200 degrees for 2, 3, 4 hours, depending on how big the piece of wood is, and that dries it. And then you can turn it. Like ammonia and woods that would have a lot of voids in them, it fills in those voids.
That's interesting.
Never knew that.
I never knew it. I'm not going to tell you that I'm by any means any kind of an expert on making turkey calls or even types of wood or anything like that, because I am absolutely not. But
I don't. Now I'm not the go-to guy on stabilizing wood. I've got a lot of help with James Harrison, makes the owl hooters, and Steve Morgenstern. They stabilized more. That kind of helped me when I first started. But I just knew I got some wood, that I thought was going to make a pretty good call, and I made a couple out of it, and it just didn't have that, it didn't have enough base to it. They didn't have enough bark to it to suit me. So, I cut the rest of it up and stabilized it. Now, it works like a charm.
That's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I've never even heard the term.
Yeah, it'll take a piece of wood that would otherwise be useless and makes it into a really nice call. You get a lot of these, like spalted wood, that's starting to rot a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
You'll see like it's be a light colored wood with all these black streaks going through it.
Right.
And a lot of that you can't even turn because
that blackwood's a rotten wood, isn't it?
Yeah, it's starting to rot a little bit. But you can stabilize it, and then you got something in. I mean, it's like picking up a piece of Coca-Cola.
That's pretty cool.
There's lots of woods, mahogany, and there's people that's going to disagree with me on this. But the way I make a pot call, mahogany is terrible, but it makes an excellent box call.
So when I get home, I'm gonna put my pot calls in the crock pot, stabilize them.
Yeah, stabilize them. Sit them in there. Keep a close eye on them now. Don't overcook them.
Do that, Cameron, but just keep Lonzo's phone number real close to you.
And
you're probably gonna need a new pot call.
And if you got a wife or a girlfriend, she will not be happy with you. But that's something you can work out. Maybe through the help of a lawyer or something.
Yeah. But, I'm stabilizing my pot calls, honey.
Yeah, the roast is gonna have to wait.
Yeah.
That's something else.
That's something
cool.
new. That is cool.
Oh yeah.
Who the heck figured that out?
Woo! It's way beyond me. There's a lot more smarter people on this earth than I am.
Just that description right there. I just think a lot of people, including myself, don't understand the intricacy of building some of these calls.
Yeah, it's the more you get into it, I ain't the kind of guy. I don't use walnut or cherry. I use a lot of exotic woods, and that's the fun of going out there. If I get something different, I can't wait to turn it. Now, if I had to turn, 400 walnut pot calls in a year, I'd just heck with this. I'd start playing pickleball or something, maybe. I don't know. But when you get a different wood or something, it's a little bit more challenging. You got to figure it out because all woods, you can't turn them all the same way and expect them to play the same.
Yeah.
And that makes total sense because they've all got different densities and.
Exactly. Yeah. And I'm more into denser woods than people that make pot calls out of a good pot call out of cedar. They got my respect. But I got into the exotics way early when I first started making them. After I got through with the first poplar shelving board I had from Lowe's, and then I just leaned toward them ever since.
Yeah.
And there's so much pretty. I mean, there's some pretty stuff out there. Wow.
Oh yeah. There's no doubt about that. And it seems to me like I'm seeing, like at Unicoi, I'm seeing more and more exotic woods seem like more rare stuff than I've seen before. And is that, I know some of it's got to do with availability, but do you think more of that's got to do with just turkey call makers stepping outside the box and trying to do something unique and different?
I think so. And I think, a lot of people, I've had lots of people, old timers and young people, and all that. I don't care what it sounds like as long as it, but you put a walnut and turkey call up there and a Mexican Coca-Cola and the eye candy wins out every time. You know.
Yeah.
No doubt.
And I have to, I'm no carver. I can't wood burn. I can't paint. I can't draw a straight line with a ruler. So, that's my inside is really, really pretty stuff. Really, I still love Osage and, bird's eye maple, but, the exotic stuff is that's the closest I can get to artwork.
Yeah.
Because the only thing I ever carved in my life was my name on my desk in the 6th grade, and I got a whipping for that. So that kind of got me out of the carving world.
So you're telling us you didn't get an A for the quality of that carving in the disc?
I didn't. Actually, I got 2 whippings. One at school, and once you got it at school, it made its way to the house, and you got another one.
Yeah.
Dave Constantine, he's invited me up to his place a couple of times to, I'll teach you how to carve. I said, you're good, Dave, but I don't think you're that good. I don't have any of that ability, and I don't even see Steve Luma. People, I don't even see what they see. My mind don't work on that level,
Yeah, there really is just an immense amount of talent with call makers, and you go to a place like Unicoi where it's just slap full of call makers, custom call makers.
Exactly.
And it's impressive, and it's really mind-blowing. And that's one of the things I try to tell people. I'm like, look, not only are you going to go and get to talk your favorite topic with 200 people or more, not only are you going to get to go and run some great sounding calls and some pretty calls, but you're going to go and be around some of the most talented and a lot of the most ingenious people that you'll be around. Some of the stuff some of those guys are coming up with is mind-blowing.
If you go in that place and you don't find something that you like to kill turkeys, then I don't know what kind of turkeys you got. I mean,
I agree.
There's if you can walk through that thing and your pocket's still full of money when you walk out, then I don't want to hunt where you hunt, because I don't know what it'd take to kill something, But there's some really good call makers. And when I judge, like at Nashville, judge hunting calls, the biggest treat to me is the ones that keep getting better and better and better and better.
Yeah.
So you judge the call making contest there in Nashville?
Yeah. I didn't this year. I have for the last 4, but I think I may start back next year. I talked to Galen about it.
What is it?
I do.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I can say it's so many calls in like pot calls, and we were like the last time I did it, it was 5 of us judging about probably 400 calls, and I just told her I can't do that. I mean, I'm with between my arthritis in my knees and my back. But now they've split it up now. Where you like, if I went there, if I go judge next year, I'll judge like maybe slate and aluminum, and I won't do glass and crystal or ceramic. It's split up, so it's not so. And then once you pick the ones everybody likes, and you get together and do the finishing touches on who wins the class and who wins the D.D. Adams and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, it really is amazing at the number of calls that are there in that call in the contest room.
Yes, absolutely. I remember the first time I entered. The next morning, I couldn't wait to go down there and see what was going on, and I think they threw mine in the trash can, and if they didn't, they should have. And so I played every one that had a ribbon by it. I started playing it. I said, "Yep, these cats are way better than me." So hard-headed as I am, I went home and I got busy on that deal, and got a lot paid off in the end. But it was I was way off line to start with.
Yeah. Well, it is fun, like you said.
Anytime you win, you get, business picks up,
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah. I went in there one year after the judging, so it must have been the last day of the show, and played a lot of those that had ribbons by them, and it's impressive.
Oh yeah, there's a reason that ribbon's laying beside it.
Yeah.
And it's not, and it's one of those deals. I mean, that's another. I used to say, when you judge, you make 5 people happy and 500 mad. But I wish I could talk to everybody that had a call in there.
Oh, I bet.
I see a lot of people that say, "Well, what'd you think about my?" And I'd say, "Well, I'm brutally honest," because the people that like Dad and Cornbread, they were brutally honest with me. And that's what you want. I mean, I don't want nobody to tell me, yeah, you're on the money when you're not on the money, you know.
Exactly.
So,
Yeah, it
I mean,
doesn't do
they may not
anybody
be
any
able to tell
good for
you
you to
what you
lie to
need to
them.
do, but they can tell you, if you're lacking, you just got to go back to the chalkboard.
Right. Yeah. No, you're spot on. It just doesn't do anybody. It doesn't do you good, and it doesn't do the call maker good for you to just tell them something just to be nice to them. Because
I want people to kill turkeys with my call. I don't want them to get it and say, man, this ain't, and put it in the sock drawer. You know, it ain't doing anybody any good there.
right. Yep. That is 100% true. So
I take criticism well. You know, I don't like for anybody to try to embarrass me, but I'm real good at taking criticism. I mean, you tell me something, you know, people tell me something and they know what they're doing and know what they're talking about, I'm listening.
yeah. Well, and if you think about it, the people who are entering their calls in those contests, number one, they're proud of what they do, but number two, there's a competitive streak in them, and they want to be better.
Yeah, you wouldn't do it if you didn't have some, you know. And after I won the Turpin, and then I won the D.D. Adams twice. After that, then you know I just didn't have any. They got a champion of champions. I entered the first champion of champions, and my son taught me into that. But I don't have any desire to enter calls. But you know, I have people tell me, man, I just really love doing it. And I said, as long as you love doing it, you need to do it. You know, if it's something that you get excited about, do it.
Right.
You know.
Yeah. Totally agree with you.
There's a lot of great calls that never see the inside of that place. You know, don't get me wrong. You ain't got to, but you know, a lot of people really enjoy doing it, and that's why they do it.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. Well, this has been fun. I've learned a lot in talking to you. I know we hadn't talked a whole lot of turkey hunting, and so I'm going to change that now and get you to share the story of your last turkey kill with us.
Okay, last one. Let's see.
Last one.
Oh, I think that was in Missouri. Me and Brian were hunting, and we had this turkey. He must have gobbled 1,500 times, and it was like later on in the morning when we got on him. So you know, he gobbled so much you didn't know if he was gobbling to you or just gobbling.
Right. Yeah.
And he was deep in there pretty good, and you know, he'd work his way back to you a couple of hundred yards. I mean, he was way out there, and then he'd go away. Yeah, and that went on for. And I had, you talking about stuff strung out. I had stuff everywhere. And I had
throwing the kitchen sink at him.
Yeah, I've thrown it all at him, and then we just like look at each other like, what in the world, you know? But you don't, you know, leaving a gobbling turkey is that's sinful. So. You know, we hung them, and I pulled out. I had a Lewis stove. It was a plastic pot with a slate service with 2 holes in them. I don't know if y'all have ever seen any of those. They were some Lewis made way back, but I started. You can like Jake yelp on it or Gobbler yelp on it, and did that. And you know, this has been going on for like an hour and a half. I mean, it was, you know, and back then, that was after the 1 o'clock, but. Finally, he gobbled, and Brian said, that's the closest he's been yet. And he said, hit him again. So did it again, and he gobbled again. He said, come on, we got to move right quick. So we're in the woods, so we had some cover, and we did a big end around, and we stopped, and he pulled out, he had that little tree upper that we make, and he up on that thing. So, I mean, he hammered now. He's like 60 yards away. He's gone from like 500 to 60. So we had to plop down right there, and all of a sudden you see that red head come up, and he hops up on a log. And I got my guns already up, you know, and I'm like, I mean, you're already pulling on the trigger. And about time he hops down off that log, and I thought, thank God I didn't shoot. And he took another step and was behind a tree, and he stepped out behind the tree, and I shot him. But that's the most gobbling I have ever heard in my life from one turkey. And, I mean, he ran us around. I mean, we didn't run around. We sat there, but and he is one of the best turkey hunters that I know. He is a very, very good turkey hunter. And like I said, we threw everything we had at him, and that's the one thing that finally made him budge. Oh, he'd gobble. Well, we thought he was gobbling at us. I don't know. He might just be gobbling, but it was quite a hunt.
Do you think that's what the key was changing the calls on him and finally hitting that one right call?
Absolutely, I do. Because, I mean, everything we thrown at him ahead of time was like just a hen. You know, we're hen calling, and he's, And, he didn't, to my knowledge, he didn't have a hen. I never heard a hen. But when he heard that, here he came. And then, Brian polished him off with that little, I guess after he done got that far, he's, maybe he thought that that gobbler yelp was that hen that he did was the hen that was with the gobbler. And he was digging it in. He wanted some of that action because he came unglued to that. I mean, we'd thrown that at him earlier. And,
Interesting.
But when they, they're funny. When they decide to come, they can come a very long way in a very short time.
Yeah, you're right about that.
Yeah.
I had one in one time I was hunting out of state, hunting in the mountains, and this turkey, I was calling to a turkey he was my initial target. I heard him gobbling, went in, got set up on him. He was out in this clear cut, really it's a select cut, but he was out in that, and I got as close to that select cut as I could get using the terrain and what little bit of trees were there.
Exactly.
And I heard a turkey gobble as far away as I could hear. And I'm going to say he was a half mile. He might have been 600 yards. He was a long way off. And I'd call and he'd gobble. Well, he was so far off, I wasn't paying any attention to him. I knew he was there. I made a mental note. He's there. So if I screw this hunt up or whatever, I'll go after him. Well, not every time I call, he gobbles, but about every second time I call, he gobbles. And he's getting closer and closer and closer and closer. And next thing I know, he's standing 3 steps behind me, drumming and gobbled. And I'm like, I cannot believe this. And meanwhile, the bird that I originally got in there to set up on, he's sitting out in this select cut, just gotten lockjaw and hadn't moved an inch.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Time to go hunt the other one. He's just right behind you.
Yeah,
no joke. But
Me and Chad Hutchinson, first time we went to Montana, we heard one gobbling out there, and we were like, I said, we get to top of that little hump right there. I said, we'll kill that turkey, So we kind of crawled up there, and we peeked over the top of that thing, and he was a mile away, and he'd gobble, and it'd be 3 seconds before you heard him, but he sounded like he was just, right on the other side of that little hump.
That's crazy.
That was a rude awakening when we got to Montana. I said, it ain't the same at home.
Yeah. That dry air will help the calls carry for sure.
Wow, exactly. Like I said, I just knew that we finna kill him. I killed on my bow in Montana, and a buddy of mine called me. He didn't know I was out there, and he said, "Hey, what you doing?" I said, "I'm out here in Montana turkey hunting." He said, "Oh, I'll let you go." I said, "No, he's still about a 3 iron away, and I could see him. He's caused that, in that little canyon. He was coming, but he wasn't in no great hurry. But he came all the way up there.
Yeah. Yeah, that's awesome. Well, good deal. Well, Cameron, do you have any other questions for Lonzo?
Man, I don't. I sure appreciate you taking time to talk to us. I've really enjoyed this.
Yeah, I did too. I hope it was worth y'all's while. Just remember to put that crock pot on simmer now when you put those calls in there.
I will.
Okay.
I will. My calls are going to be ready to roll tomorrow. I'm going to cook them overnight, get them out in the morning.
Lonzo,
no excuses.
Low and slow.
Do you recommend he go ahead and put the pot roaster in there, and then that way he just kills 2 birds with 1 stone?
I wouldn't.
Yeah, what do you call it? Catfish soup or something? I'm just going to do pot roast.
Yeah, just put just draw something on a piece of paper that looks maybe like it's a roast and put it on top so you won't get in trouble. And then,
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
Well, I hope y'all have a great season.
You too, Lonzo. I really do.
You too.
Be safe. Good luck with your traveling and hunting. I hope you have a lot of success, and shoot me a picture of a dead turkey. I'd love to see what one looks like.
Yeah, it's been, when you talk about waiting on the season to come around, how it ends, and 2 or 3 months after it ends, you'll hear a crow or an owl, and you stop and look around like, what the, it's over. Don't worry about it. You can't hardly wait for it to get back. So maybe we'll all have a good one.
Yeah, I hope so.
I hope so.
Well, if somebody wants to get in touch with you and buy a call, how can they go about doing that?
I got a website. I'm not very good at computer stuff, and Lonzo, it don't have an S on it on this one because my original website got hijacked, and it was Lonzo's Custom Call. This is Lonzo Custom Call, but I'm on Facebook. They can message me or call me. 229-317-0045, and they'll get me.
Fantastic. And I have a feeling if
you
they
go.
wait a week to call you, they're probably going to get voicemail. So they need to leave you a message, don't they? And call.
Yeah, they're going to,
expect a call back.
exactly. Starting Saturday morning, from then on, I'm going to be a hard man to find.
All right. That's
Yeah.
good. That's
Everybody
good.
call him 30 minutes before daylight. It'll be a perfect time for him to take a call.
That's right. And if he doesn't answer, keep calling. Call and then hang up.
Yeah.
And call and then hang up.
Hammer him.
Yeah, it's a cricket. My ringtone is a cricket, so that'd be fine.
Change it to a hoot owl, and that way you got your locator call and folks are calling.
Yeah, or a good hen sound. Yeah, that's what I need to do.
Yeah, just be playing over and over. Electronic call
That's
for
good.
you.
Yeah, good advice. Good advice. I hadn't thought about that.
I think I'm going to change mine to a drum.
Yeah.
There you go.
I'll be texting
I
Cameron. I'll
couldn't
be
do
like,
that. I'd be, yeah.
I'll call Cameron. I'll be like, hey, call me.
Yeah.
I got one hung up at 45 yards. I can't see him. Call me now.
And if voicemail comes on, hang up and do it again.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. I'd probably forget. I'd be sliding down the tree thinking he's right behind me.
Yeah.
Oh, man, he's here.
Yeah, like when you pull up through the woods and you just stand there and you call one time and he gobbles, he's like 50 yards away. You know, like they don't get no worse than this, you know.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah.
No doubt. Well, again, thank you. Appreciate your time.
Yes,
and
sir.
I've enjoyed this a lot. It's been a lot of fun, and we'll try to get you on again sometime here in the not too distant future and shoot straight.
Well, thank y'all for doing this. It's very informative, very helpful. I listen to them and really enjoy them.
Well, good. Well, good.
It's a good way to.
Thank you.
Everybody's got, nobody knows it all, and you can pick up all kinds of stuff if you'll listen.
Oh, isn't that the truth? Isn't that the truth? Well, good deal. We'll keep fast forwarding through the parts when Cameron's talking, and then you just listen to mine. Yeah, yeah. And we appreciate you listening and appreciate you doing what you do and making those pretty calls and coming on here with us.
Oh, yeah. My pleasure. Thank y'all again.
All right. Thanks, Lonzo. Have a good day.
Yeah.
Right.
Good day.
Bye.
See you. Bye.
I enjoyed that. We talked about it in the interview. We've talked about it 1,000 times on this show, but just turkey calls, I love turkey calls. They're, when you get something made by any of those guys at Unicoi, 95% of them are a work of art. And then when you smack a turkey in the face with one of them, they're not just a work of art. They're a functioning musical instrument, and they are just, a lot of those are just so good. Those guys are so talented down there. Lonzo's one of them. And, so I enjoy the turkey call making part of that. And, we got some hunting stories and talked a little bit about traveling and hunting. And I think he's getting ready to pack up and head towards Old Mexico.
Yeah.
Or too long.
Like
so
we'll get a Gould's turkey.
Yeah. Yep. So anyway, that was a lot of fun. He's just a heck of a nice guy. And, I would just say for any of you guys out there that if you're looking for a good turkey call, one that'll look nice and bring a turkey to your gun barrel, then you might want to give Lonzo a call and get hooked up there because he does it right.
Man, yeah. I agree. Great interview. Enjoyed it. And man, been a heck of a spring already. It's hard to believe we are about to be on the back nine. I mean, actually we're on the back nine for most of the Southerners.
Yeah.
It is winding down. And this has been one of, you've seen way more springs than me. I mean, way more, a whole lot more. So
exponentially
many
more springs.
Yeah. Speaking of aging out, but this, for me at least, this has been one of the earliest, the turkeys are not gobbled out or whatever people like to talk about, but I do think our hens are hitting the nest quite a bit earlier this year. I know it doesn't shift a month or anything, but I would say a week or two is very likely. And I expect to see poults on the ground mid-May here, to be honest.
And that'll be about the time that the southeast starts getting some rain.
Yeah. And it's been nice and dry. They ought to have a good initial hatch. If we can keep some dry weather, it could be a really big hatch.
Could be. It could be.
We will see,
Yeah.
but hopefully, hopefully the floodgates don't just come open after this dry spell we've had.
Yeah. I hope not, but I have a feeling that's what's going to happen. So I pray I'm wrong, and we can, like Cameron said, just have a heck of a hatch and, set some little baby turkeys on the ground so that all these new hunters who are out there chasing turkeys can have some birds to scare off.
Yeah. So all these new hunters can have jakes to shoot next year.
Mm-hmm. And some old hunters too. I know some old hunters that like to shoot jakes. Not sure why, but
some people love a jake, man. I don't know what.
To each his own.
Hey, I've shot jakes. I can't judge anybody else. I've done it. Most every guest we've ever had on here answers that jake question with an affirmative on the rapid fire Q&A.
I cannot and will not throw stones.
Yeah.
So
no doubt.
Cool.
Well, man.
So yeah, let's make that the favor of the week for Lonzo. If you guys want to add to your turkey call collection, give Lonzo a call and get with him and buy one. You won't be sad that you bought, I promise.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, man, wrap us up.
All right. Thank you guys so much for tuning in this week. We know that you have choices. We appreciate you spending your time with us. We hope you have a wonderful week, and we look forward to seeing you again next week. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Thanks for tuning in. You were just listening to the Turkey Hunter podcast. If you enjoyed the show, please go on over to iTunes and leave a 5-star review. And make sure to head over to www.iamturkeyhunting.com to subscribe for free turkey hunting tips, tactics, strategies, and product reviews to help you have a more successful turkey season. And stay tuned for upcoming episodes on hunting afternoon birds, how to film your hunt, and the breeding cycle of hens, as well as some guest interviews. Thanks again for listening. We know your time is valuable, and we appreciate you sharing some of it with us. See you next week.